Hey, HR friends, welcome back. We're in the 3-6 emotional 6.5 day sequence, and we're going to talk about day 6. Now, as always, we start out by talking about the electromagnetics or the polarity points that are going to be happening not only in this sequence, but specifically in day 6. Now, these electromagnetics, what they're showing you is the organized pattern of space-time. These patterns are very important to understand because if we get to a 4 or above a 4, what happens is our emotions are being manipulated. How so? Well, we're all designed the same way. We all have a defensive system of control, a fight or flight mechanism. And we either want to avoid our problems or we want to fight for our opinions when our emotions or that defensive system is engaged. Now, knowing when this pattern is going to elevate tells you when you're going to become defensive in nature, which makes it very easy for us to predict when social chaos is going to ensue and when weather events or bigger tragedies are going to happen. And what it's doing is it's tricking us into doing things and making mistakes because that's how we're designed to learn. And the more mistakes we make, the faster we'll learn. Well, here's the good news. We figured out the pattern, okay? Once you figure out this pattern, then what you got to do is you got to learn how not to react to it. Now, that's what we're trying to help you with here. So, these forecasts are all about letting you know when the electromagnetics are going to bounce up. Now, here's the thing. In our previous 24 hours, we warned you that we were going to have an emotional and a mental polarity flip, and that's going to now continue through the rest of the sequence. So, day 6 here, we're at high alert, and not only do we have increased third person agitation, but we're going to have some increased first person agitation. What's the difference between these two? Well, first person agitation, that has to do with everybody that's in your life on a day-to-day basis, your family, your friends, your workers, your community members, okay? And you don't want to have stress with them because that's who you see all the time. You want to have a stress-free environment if possible, but these moments right here, they're going to activate your defensive biochemistry, and this is when you're going to want to approach them and want to talk about things that aren't going well, either with communication, maybe their routines aren't working out with yours. Now, go ahead and cooperate and coordinate with people. Just make sure that you're not being duped by this defensive system of control. Now, the other one that's really of concern here, and this has been going on now, it's going to be for the next 24 hours again, so 48 hours total, and then it's going to continue into the 6.5 day sequence here, the last 12 hours before it finally shuts down. Third person is way high right now. And if you're paying attention to the news, if you're paying attention to the bigger picture, there are all kinds of things happening and all kinds of events that are amplifying right now. And this is what's egging that on because we exist in a mathematical construct. That's how we figured out this pattern. That's how we're posting this pattern. And that's how we're using it to predict what happens. And helping you know these predictions is worth its weight in gold. Why? Well, if you react to this stuff, the only thing that's going to happen is you're going to create stress for yourself and the people around you. And stress is what causes us to age. Stress is what leads to future states of disease. And stress is what stops us from doing the overall objective. The more stress we can eliminate, the better it gets for all of us. That's why you want to know when this pattern's going to happen. And now, the best one to look at when you're looking at this guide is always this combined. Why? It's so easy to see what's going to happen here. And you can see that we're at a level 4 or above the entire time in day 6. And that's going to continue into the last 12 hours too before we switch out. High alert. That's all we can say about that. All right, so now we're going to come down here and we're going to just briefly talk about objective. Can't say this enough. We're in a mathematical construct. We thought that this was real. It's a simulated experience. It sure feels real. And don't get me wrong, we are emotional. We feel things. So real is what you make it, I guess. But at the end of the day, this is what's real at the mathematical level. We are all connected to the same family. Now, that's what the problem is here. We didn't know this. So we've got all these different families all over the world that are kind of not working together. We've disconnected ourselves, and that again is because of our defensive nature. Defensively, what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to invest in strategies that's going to benefit our family. It's going to benefit our family members or our friends or our community members. And don't get me wrong, you want to work together with bigger groups of people, but what you want to do is you want to all understand what the heck it is we're in. Now, you see, in space-time reality, everything's proportional. So the more people that we have feuding, the more people we have fighting, the more chaos we're going to see over here. The more people on our team we can get together, the more people we can commit to this team and to get along and not be duped by these polarity points. This unseen pattern of chaos is literally trying to stop us from doing the objective. Now, once we show you this unseen pattern of chaos, it's still not going to be easy. You're still going to feel like you need to run from your problems or that you need to fight with people, that you have to take care of on your own. That's your own individual battles with what your feelings are trying to trick you into doing. Now, once you overcome that battle, then you have to commit to the team and then you have to commit to making sure that your routine is balanced. Now, if you do those three things, what's going to happen is this. These are the governing frequencies. These are the frequencies and how they're connected to the quadrants of your body. Again, everything's interconnected and every choice is connected to your body. It's a biofeedback system. So if you get along with all members of the team and you balance all of these perspectives and you're not acting defensively, you'll be in perfect alignment or in harmony with these frequencies. And what it will do is this. It will slow the aging process. You do it long enough, you can stop the stages of diseases that are progressing in your body, and you can even start to reverse them. These frequencies are super powerful. If you're in line with them, they heal you. If you're out of line with them, they destroy you. That's the easiest way to say it. Now, I don't know what other thing to tell you other than we just didn't realize we were in a sentient space-time reality. We didn't realize this was a mathematical construct. The best way to think about this is if we're in a video game. And I say this because literally there's an objective, there's a reward as you do the objective, and if you don't do the objective, there's a punishment. And on top of it, because this is an all-out experience, if you achieve the objective and you do it your entire life and you balance, here's a reward. You get out of this negative feedback loop so that you don't have to deal with this unseen pattern of chaos anymore. You actually get yourself in a positive feedback loop in your next existence. That's just how this math works. We can substantiate this, we can prove this, and all it takes is people to invest in this to one, feel better as an individual. Now, if we can get a ton of individuals within a region committed to this, we can actually heal that region. We can help the climate in that region. We can help the environment in that region. We can help the social interaction in that region, but we can't do it if we don't have people that are willing to let go of what they used to think this was, commit to their team, commit to their communities, and commit their routines to making things better for all of us. All right, that's enough about that. Now we're going to talk about day 6, and we're going to come into the zoomed in 24-hour guide. Now, we do this 24-hour guide so that we can really show you where the ups and downs of these electromagnetics are going to be. And I like to really focus on the combined. Why? Because stress is messy. Who cares if it's stress in the third person or the first person? Because if you're upset at home or you're upset at work, and then you see something on the news that upsets you, it all kind of blends together. Okay. So it's the easiest to look at this chart and remember 4 is what we worry about. And you can see we're at a 4 or above a 4 this entire 24-hour sequence. Now, to make this easy for people that don't have great internet all day long, what we've done is we put all 24 time zone offsets in here, and to find your time zone offset, you come down here, you locate it. Once you have it located, this will hold for 10 seconds, you screenshot it. And now you have times aligned. So even if you don't have great internet access all day long, you still have access to know when these peaks are going to happen so that you can be on high alert. Now, if you've got great internet, this is what you do. You go to healthreconnected.com, you go to our homepage there, and we've got a live feed. And there's actually a time bar that runs through this live feed. It's universal time. You don't have to do anything but look at it, and I use it all the time. The second I feel defensive, the second I see someone around me getting defensive, I open this up, and sure as there it is. And as always, that time bar will be going through one of these peaks, and it is a sobering experience. And what you're going to realize is you're in a mathematical construct. What we thought was real is kind of a dream. Like I said, it's like a game we're playing here, and understanding the rules of how this game works gives you the advantage. If you don't understand how this game works, you get manipulated by the unseen pattern of chaos. It's working us over. If you don't believe me, look around. All right. So that's enough about the electromagnetics high alert today. Now, the good news is this. It's pretty light in testing, okay? We only have 2 alignments we're going to talk about today. Alignments, just when 2 hands of the space-time clock align. And what happens is a testing frequency amplifies. What do I mean testing frequency? Well, every frequency really just has to do with how we get along with the team members or if we're balancing our routines. And today it's all about if we're getting along with our team members. Okay. So this first one we're going to talk about is the EE. It's an hour and a half alignment. It's this red one down here. Now, when we talk about the bottom, I said this last time. I wouldn't just focus on what the red is, which is the sun. I would focus on the son and the daughter, meaning how do you get along with the younger teammates, the teammates that are trying to find their way and their contributions to the team? Are you helping them get through their stress? Are you being a good mentor? Or if you are a younger member, are you making sure that you're talking through things and working things out and making sure you're not over investing in just how you feel you should spend your time, because we're all designed to have a special thing that we give to our team, right? And we feel like that's what we should do all the time. But the truth is, we still got to balance our other choices. So whether you're helping these individuals or whether you've been these individuals, and everyone was young at one time. So this is all about how do we get along with those younger members of the team. If you're not doing a good job and the time bar goes through this and you start to feel pain on your right lower side, that just tells you got to work with younger members. You're not doing very good. You need to refine those skills. All right, that's easy. Now let's get to the next one here. MP. That's our second alignment for the day. This is a 3-hour alignment. This one's tougher. This is going to be on the upper quadrant. The upper left is where you're going to feel this same thing. This is leadership. So mothers and fathers, how are you getting along with leadership? And are you developing your leadership skills? This is all about team skills again. The space side has to do with the first person perspectives or teammates. Time side has to do with how you're balancing your routine. Now, does that mean you don't have to balance your routine today? You better, because you're still going to be tested by frequencies. They're just not going to be so strong that it's easy for us to point this out to you. You see, these really strong moments in time, and this one's long enough that if you feel something in your upper left quadrant, you know darn well what it is now. This is to help us assure you it's a mathematically dictated reality that once you understand the pattern, you can literally plot the pattern forward, and that's what we've done for you. We've literally gone forward in time. We know exactly what the testing sequences are going to be so that we can prepare you so that you can succeed. That's what we're here to help you do. So that's enough about the alignments. There's only 2 of them. That's good news. Let's get down here and let's talk about the frequencies and how they're going to test the quadrants of the body. Now, just like the electromagnetics, if we get a lot of frequencies in a quadrant at any period of time, especially if it's over 4, that's a pretty heavy load. And upper left quadrant is really getting tested this 24 hours. Right upper quadrant, not so much, under a 4. The left lower quadrant, not so much, under a 4. The right lower quadrant, quite a bit above a 4 the whole time. So we're looking at right lower quadrants heavy, and we're looking at upper left quadrants heavy. All right. Now what we're going to do is we're going to talk about where the 10 strongest frequencies are, because these are tons of frequencies. There's tons of frequencies that are going to test us in this 24-hour period. These are the 10 strongest. And where these frequencies sit, because they don't move and because they're stronger, it's very likely this is what you're going to feel during the course of the day if you're out of balance with this. And what we've done is we've made this super simple for you. So first person has to do with team members, and third person has to do with your routines. So you can see that if you get left upper quadrant pain, it really is indicating that you're having problems with team members. Versus if you're getting right lower quadrant pain, that's telling you that your routine is out. Okay. And you can see there's a little bit going on over here too. This is why it's so important that you document what you feel, where you feel it, and when you feel it, because our software will help you pinpoint this. These are just general guides. And what these guides do is they explain, for example, why our pain patterns shift around in our body. So one week it feels like the left is hurting, and then the next week you're feeling like the right's going to hurt. So that helps you understand what's happening here. These frequencies are testing us in what seems to be a random order. It's anything but random once you figure this pattern out. It's a very specific pattern. Again, that's how we do all these predictions. All right, so that's a pretty good analysis of what's coming here in this 24 hours. Again, high alert because we're getting close to a title change. So we always end with this. We have the rest of the electromagnetics for 2024 already posted. You've got no excuses. This is the unseen pattern of chaos. We have exposed it. Now, what does that mean? It means you have to pay attention to this, because if you don't, this thing is deceiving. I promise you, this is working us over. You can see it all around us. It is causing our chaos. And when you see this pattern go up, you'll see chaos go up. When you see this pattern go up, you'll see weather intensify. Again, all that stuff is connected. The more people we get tuned into this, the more people we get committed to not reacting and making this a better place for all of us, the better off we're all going to be. All right, that's all we got for this one. We'll talk to you next time.